Good morning, Animal fans. This is Alexlexus coming at you with another installment of the Animal Mugen Arcade TV show. I want to give up some shout outs to Shinwar, Project Justice, On Your Knees, Anomaly. Hope all is well with you. And yesterday was his birthday, so give him some belated birthday wishes on Facebook. And to Burn Your Bra, awesome games, Nelson Rios, Michael Hurdle, formerly of Raw Gameplay. Good stuff yesterday. And getting into today's topic, this video is technically a semi-response to Maximillian and Angry Joe's videos that were put out on Event Hubs. And in watching those videos, they made a couple points, especially Maximillian, because he hit the nail on the head with, okay, we know Capcom has made some questionable decisions. The game seemed, I guess it was rushed. A couple of things were overlooked, and and again, for those of you who are gonna say that I'm defending Capcom, I'm not. I'm just gonna give it to you straight. All right. Despite we know bad box art Mega Man's in the game, we know the 360 has the couch co-op is not included in the game. Capcom lied about Mega Man and Pac-Man being Vita and PS3 exclusives, and then the list goes on, and then the whole DLC thing, which I'm gonna get into later on, because there's another angle to this that I want you guys to look at. But despite everything that's going on with the storm and of anger from the fighting game community, which is justified, you can't take away from the game itself. Street Fighter Cross Tekken is a great game. It's fun. It's just marred by the laggy online, and but when you're playing it and you have a good connection, it's a lot of fun. Yesterday we were playing with Burn Your Bra, Nelson Rios, Shinwar, myself, a couple other Animal guys, and we had a lot of fun. We had some laughs, and people weren't tagging out, and all this, crazy stuff. And let's not get away. Let's not take away from the product itself. Even though Capcom has been making some really horrible decisions, the game, the product is good. And I think that's where, and this is to Svensson, to Ono, to Seth Killian, to you guys. Hopefully, this is coming in and is being receptive. The reason why we're angry, because we care. We like the game, some of us. I would say a vast majority of us like the game, and we want to see good things come of this. We don't want to see Capcom fall. You know what I mean? Because hell, they gave us Street Fighter for more than 25 years. So I hope Capcom's not taking this in a way where it's like, man, you know what? We can't please these guys. Once upon a time, you guys were hitting it on the head. But think about your business practices, that whole DLC thing. Angry Joe went and pretty much said what a lot of people are afraid to say. You're gonna release the Vita version for $20 less, and then make us pay for the console version. Like that's not right. Think about that. But I think you need advisors from the community itself. And I guess Maximillian can serve as that. Hell, bring Angry Joe on. Maybe he's too hardcore for some people at Capcom, but I respect their views, because it's just what they're saying is right, and it just doesn't make sense to do it that way. So Capcom, the anger comes from, it's just like if you're in a friendship or relationship with anybody, if they can piss you off to that point where it's like, man, I just want to, that means that, on the opposite side of hate, there's some love there, so please take that with a grain of salt. Hopefully, you guys see where the fighting game community is coming from. Me, my frustration, my anger comes from the fact that it is a good game. It's a fun game, except for the gems, but that's going to be for another topic. But hopefully, that makes sense to some of you guys, because I mean, I would hate for a good title to be drowned by all the anger and the negativity. And the fighting game community, you know, the message to you guys, don't make us look bad either. You know what I mean? Some people are being immature about how they're going about it. I mean, Angry Joe, Maximillian, and a couple other shows out there, you know, have expressed their opinions, and they've done it in humorous ways, comedic ways for views on YouTube and things like that. But you know, there's some people who are outright venomous, and it's not. I'm not telling you guys how to express yourself, but I'm just saying they're gonna ignore you if you're going overboard. You know what I mean? I would just say, hey, just bring your point to the surface, and we can go from there. But it's a good game, guys. It's a decent game. I mean, there's a lot going for it, and then there's a lot of bad things going for it, and then that brings me to the next topic with the DLC. Now, I know I already spoke about this in the past. However, this right here is a centerpiece, and the company that produced this is actually the one to blame. And I'll tell you why. Now, considering that the 12 characters are going to be released on the Vita, right? And we will get the download access when the Vita version is released, right? Why hold up the fighting game community for... Oh, shit. I'm about to drop this shit. For this. Think about it. From Capcom side, from PlayStation side, Xbox side, the fans of the fighting game itself, not this particular console, the fighting game itself, they're gonna be pissed off. It's like the Vita is stalling us from getting a full game. So why is it Capcom's responsibility to help sell PS Vitas when it's a third-party company? Someone said to me, hey, the Japanese are sticking together. You know, Capcom is a Japanese-based company. Sony is a Japanese-based company. So, hey, let's make a deal. The backdoor bankrolling is a no-go, Capcom. Think about it. It's as if you sold out to them. And I think your primary responsibility is to your fans. Now, business is business. I know, let's say Sony threw an absorbent amount of money to Capcom just to say, hey, can you please hold these characters for the Vita version? We really need your help on that. And Capcom probably looked at it like, hey, alright, fine. But then again, I don't think they took into account the backlash and, you know, people being able to get into the ISOs. I'm sure Capcom knows that people are hacking games, looking at data and what have you. So it's as if, like, what is it? I mean, how much money did you know, Sony buy you for? It's like Capcom's being the escort of Sony. Like, hey, you know what? I want a good time. I'm gonna pay, you know, for X amount of such and such for perks. I'm telling you, you know, the Vita, I like the system. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 runs great on it. You know what I mean? The system shows promise, but this is going to leave a nasty taste in some of our mouths, because it's like, alright, because of the Vita, man, I'm not getting that crap. That can be another reaction to it. So it's just, honestly, I don't think the Vita is in a position to do that. Now, if it was something like the Nintendo DS, it was getting Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and still, it's a portable system. I don't think the portable system should have so much pull to hold up, you know, the game. Like, hell, what I would have recommended is, prior to EVO, release those characters, the DLC characters, and then call it a day. What if the Vita didn't exist? How would Capcom be going about this? Let me know what you guys think, because it's like this right here is the centerpiece. This is at the middle of the controversy, one of the pieces. And then, in terms of the DLC itself, Capcom, that's greedy. It's greedy. I'm sorry. How is it? We already paid for the game. We own the physical disc. this is in my possession, right? So everything on that disc should be mine. So how is it you're going to charge me to unlock everything on the disc? That's why the hackers did what they did. And can you blame them? Can you blame them? I mean, I don't think it's right. It's as if, you know, Shinwar had brought up a point where in Street Fighter 4 Vanilla, DJ and T-Hawk's models I heard were already done. So instead of putting them as DLC in that game, I guess, you know, Capcom has to plan out and make sure that the game can be expanded prior to the release. So if T-Hawk and DJ were already done for Street Fighter 4 Vanilla, we had to wait for Super Street Fighter 4. We paid $60 for the original. Then you pay another, like, not even full price, and it's like $100. If you start adding, you know, stacking everything up, Capcom's raking in a lot of money. You know, and for some of us, or some of the younger generation who's not seeing this, me, Angry Joe, a bunch of other guys who are seeing Capcom doing this stuff, that's not right. That's not right. Capcom, you've been successful prior to DLC. So why are you trying to be so money hungry? I mean, I don't get that. The economy is rough, and people aren't gonna be willingly giving out their money like that. You know what I mean? You want to keep your customers coming back over the long haul, and not trying to gouge them for every little penny that they got. That's not right. And because, you know, we know that Capcom knows that we want this stuff. They know that we want it, and they can probably, like Angry Joe said, that they probably can care less what we think. But chances are we're going to end up purchasing the product. But I would say, hey, you know, if you want to buy it used or you want to pirate it, I'm not going to tell you what to do. But these things will happen. So that's just something to take into consideration. And I know for a fact Team Namco is watching. All the mistakes that Capcom has made, they're going to pretty much transcend all the limits that Capcom has put out there. You know, I bet you when Harada's team finishes Tekken Cross Street Fighter, he's probably going to have all the characters out there day one, bam, $60, call it a day. I don't think Namco Bandai is going to risk the damage to their PR like that, you know, but overall, I think Capcom can come out of this, you know, but it's the questionable decisions. I mean, you can't be Capcom. Just give the fans what they want. Give the fans what they want, and don't try to steal from the people that help financially put you guys on the map. So if it wasn't for the fan base purchasing your stuff, there would be no Capcom. There's a lot of video game companies that just went under because they just weren't getting the support anymore. So a giant like Capcom that's been established for so many years, I would hate to see anything happen to them, and I would hate for them to get out of making fighting games again, because we did have that long hiatus for almost 10 years. So let's find a balance, and Capcom, just listen to us. Just listen to us. I think it's fair. We'll continue to support you guys, provided that you're making the right decisions and not trying to hold 12 characters that are already on this disc. I mean, PS Vita, I don't think it's worth losing or pissing off the rest of your fans, because me, if I were like, you know, irrational person, I would say, hey, you know what? Screw this. I'm not getting a Vita. You know, I'm gonna stick it to them. But in the end, the only company to really blame for this is Sony. Sony with that backdoor bankrolling. That's how they killed the Dreamcast and tried to screw with Microsoft, because remember, the original Xbox didn't have a lot of exclusives. You know what I mean? Konami got smart and said, hey, you know what? We're going multi-console. There's untapped market, so the last thing you want to do is Capcom, don't sell out to Sony. It's not worth it. The Vita is not worth it. I mean, it's a great system. I'm going to keep it. I'm supporting. Sony did something good with that. But to ensure the success of that, same thing what happened with the Blu-ray and the HD DVD war. Sony owns the movie studios, or Sony Pictures, and they force those developers to release movies on Blu-ray format only, thus killing HD DVDs. And in the beginning, HD DVDs were giving out better output with the VC3 codec, and when Toshiba gave up, then they gave it up, and they're like, hey, screw it, we're out of the business. So greed is a hell of a thing, you know what I mean? And Capcom, don't fall into that. I know you guys are a respectable company, but your decisions, no good. And don't sell out to Sony. Sony is to blame for this, guys. Let me know what you think. This is Alexlexus signing off. And to Maximillian, Angry Joe, and you other guys out there, just keep putting the forum out there so we can voice our opinion. So that's all I got for you. Next week I'll be back for the NMO show, probably sooner than that. And we may be running an event. Still working things out with KOTC Nation and trying to get some more resources. But in the meantime, this is Alexlexus. See you next time on the NMO show.